Well, hello there, Tater Tots. Welcome back to another episode of Storytime with YaYa and Papa Moon. YaYa here. I was going to go outside and read a story outside because the sunshine looks so beautiful and it feels so good in the skin, but it's 37 degrees and a little windy, so still just a little cool to be reading outside. So today's episode is dedicated to one of my favorite girls in the whole entire world, Layla. So Layla has a little sister named Lily and a little brother named Judah. So this goes out to them. So today we're reading The Never Girls in a Blink, Book 1, written by Kiki Thorpe, and we're on Chapter 8. So that's on page 87. So if you got to The Never Girls book with you, grab a book and follow along with me. Here we go. That night, after her friends fell asleep, Kate sneaked out of the willow room. At the edge of the orchard, she spotted a bent tree with twisted branches. Right away, she knew it was the sour plum tree. "Vidya," Kate whispered. A moment later, she felt a tiny breeze and Vidya flew up beside her. "I'm ready for my flying lesson now," Kate told her. "First things first, dearie, we need fairy dust." Vidya held out something that resembled a man's sock. Kate looked closer. It was a man's sock. It was long and red with a stitched up hole in the toe. "I took it from a pirate," Vidya told her. "Don't worry, I washed it." "Who's it for?" Kate said. "To carry the dust, clever one. Now go ahead, fill her up." "The whole thing?" Kate said, shocked. The sock was as long as her forearm. "Tink said everyone only gets a cupful." Vidya smirked. "Tink doesn't care about flying, not like we do. But use your head, sweetness. If a tiny cup of dust helps you fly, think how much faster you go with more." Kate took the sock. "Why can't you get the dust yourself?" she asked. "Dearest, if we stand around talking all night long, there will be no time for flying," Vidya said. "Now off you go." As Kate started away, Vidya added, "Don't worry, fairy dust belongs to all of us." Kate walked along the stream toward the mill. She felt funny. It didn't seem right to take fairy dust in the middle of the night. It seemed like stealing. But Vidya said that the fairy dust belongs to everyone, Kate reminded herself. Besides, she would need extra fairy dust for all her friends to fly back to Neverland too. Ahead in the moonlight, she could see the mill. Kate tiptoed closer. She hoped Terrence was there. Then she could just ask for the fairy dust. "Hello?" Kate whispered. "Anyone here?" The only sound was the splish-splash of the water wheel turning in the stream. Kate tried the big double doors. They opened easily. Through them, she could just make out the shapes of pumpkin canisters. Kate was too big to crawl inside, but she could easily fit her arm through the door. She reached in and pulled a pumpkin toward her. Taking off its lid, she saw that it was 3/4 full. The dust glittered faintly in the moonlight. Kate dipped her hand in and pulled out a fistful, and another, and another. In the end, it took most of the dust in the pumpkin to fill the sock. "Fairy dust belongs to everyone," Kate kept telling herself. She put the canister back and closed the doors. As she stood, she noticed that her hands were sparkly with dust. She could feel its magic already starting. She half ran, half flew all the way to the sour plum tree. Vidya grinned when she saw the filled sock. She scooped out a big portion for herself, then one for Kate. When she was done, Kate tied the sock through a belt loop in her jeans. "All right, follow me," Vidya said, and dove into the air. Kate sprang after her. The extra fairy dust made her feel powerful. In a flash, she was high above the sour plum tree. But a second later, she started to sink. She tried to think of light things, as Tink had told her, but the ground was coming up fast. "You're trying too hard," Vidya whispered into her ear. She was hovering next to Kate. "Think, but don't think. Hold the idea lightly in your mind. Feel the air lift you." Kate tried to think and not think about flying. She felt the night air on her bare arms. She pushed against it and rose up and up. In an instant, Kate was higher than the home tree. She swooped through the air. Cool air rushed against her face. She was flying. How could this have been so hard, she wondered. It seemed so easy now. Kate found that she could use her arms, like rudders, to turn. She dipped down and felt the leaves brush against her toes. She shot up through the air again and made a loop. "You've got it, child. Now try going faster," Vidya sped ahead. Kate chased after her. "Faster!" Vidya shrieked. Kate sped up again. She was flying faster than she'd ever thought she could. But Vidya flew faster still. So fast she looked like a shooting star in the night. Kate could hear her tiny little voice, "Faster, faster." Kate laughed with joy. Below her, Neverland lay spread out like a patchwork quilt. Light patches of sand and rock were mixed with darker patches of trees. Above, stars glittered coldly in the velvet black sky. Where should we go? She shouted to Vidya. Anywhere, came the faint reply. In the distance, Kate saw a tall mountain. She aimed herself toward it. Suddenly, a large shape burst out at her. 2 yellow eyes flashed in the darkness. Kate screamed and threw her hands in front of her face. She dropped in the air, just missing the owl. The bird screeched its annoyance at her, then flapped away. Kate regained her balance. That was a close one, she said in a shaky voice. She was trembling all over. Can we stop for a minute, Vidya? There was no answer. She scanned the sky, but she didn't see Vidya's glow. Kate looked down. Her belt loop was empty. Vidya was gone, and so was the rest of the fairy dust. Oh no! So, Kate was pressured into taking something that she knew in her heart was stealing. You know, each of us have a little voice inside of us. A little voice that's our conscious. And it tells us when something is wrong and when something is right. Or when something is scary. So you listen to that little voice. And if that little voice says, you know, this is wrong, then don't do it. Because it probably is wrong. So, all right, that was a really good episode. Stay tuned for more at Chapter 9. All right, love you. Oh, special shout out to Miss Layla. Layla. All right, bye guys. Mwah.